How y'all doing today? How y'all doing today? Welcome back to the Count It All Joy podcast with your boy Will. And today again, I'm by myself today. Uh, and it's not a story time this time. It's something totally different. Uh, I want to talk about a topic that has been it's been on my mind for a while now, and I've always had I always have strong opinions about things. Some of them could get me canceled, but uh, this specific topic is just an opinion I have and something that I believe, and I just want to get on here and talk to you guys about it and get your guys' feedback on it as well. But today I wanted to talk about really technology and then dive a little bit more into social media. Uh, I guess I'll start with how I feel about our dependence upon technology and how it subconsciously it makes us a little bit lazy. It creates less physical contact. I mean, a lot of these things we know. We've seen the articles. We've uh we've seen the studies on it. But I think for us, the way we fully depend on technology and the way that AI and the more advanced it becomes, it's all good. But I think for us, it's making us less motivated, less determined, and we're just more dependent on it. And we're becoming, I don't know, like I said, a little bit lazy. And I think we all become victim of it. And sometimes we don't even notice it in the moment. And it's not until we look back and really recognize what's going on. And then to even take it a little bit like a step further, we can even look at it in the frame of church and like also like reading the Bible. I know for me, I think all of this really started to take a turn the most during COVID. Obviously we were in the house for a while. We didn't really know how long we were gonna be in the house. We were in the middle of a pandemic, which is really crazy when you look back at it. But I think that that was a huge reason why we're in the stage we are now, especially with technology and how much we use it and how saturated it's become. Uh, like I said, with COVID, so my mom's a germaphobe, right? She's a germaphobe in general, OD germaphobe. Uh, so with COVID, you can imagine how crazy she was, not crazy, but rather how paranoid she was. So I remember we didn't go to church even when COVID was dying down a little bit. So I guess a year into COVID, we still didn't go to church like physically because she was still a little bit frightened of everything, understandably so. But we didn't go to church, right? We would listen to it online, which they've always had that option. But most people would just go to church physically. Uh, but after COVID really wasn't, I'm not saying it because it's still a thing, but it's just not as prevalent, right? When COVID was really when it was died down, and it wasn't as prevalent as it was. Uh, we were still online, right? Because we got comfortable with the online option, and at first it was motivated from just trying to be safe and trying to stay away from COVID-19 and all of that. But after a certain amount of time, it became subconsciously, it became us being comfortable with the situation, us being comfortable with our dependence upon the technology at hand. Okay, we don't have to get up. We can just, even if we oversleep, we could just listen to the message online. Which, as long as we get a sermon, that's the most important thing. But I think like I said, we became lazy, right? We stopped going physically. And it was a time, I want to say maybe 2 years ago is when we started back going physically again, and we haven't looked back since. But I brought that up to say with the dependence on technology and how uh I guess how we're leaning on it so much and how much we use it and how much we're putting our trust in it, I guess is taken away from other things. Now, like I said, there's nothing like physically being in a church. So we were missing out on that. And the sermon's a sermon. As long as you get the sermon, that's the most important thing. But we weren't physically going, and that's a different type of experience. So we were missing out on that for who knows how long because we were, choosing to be lazy in a sense. And that's how I see it. Just using technology. Not it we can use it for our demise. I wouldn't say that was for our demise, we're still using church, but you get what I'm saying? Less motivated, less determined. I think that all plays a part. Also with the Bible specifically and reading your Bible, I think it's another thing, and I fall victim to this all the time. And we have the Bible right on our phones, right on our app. We have the app on our phone. So it can just easily be, all right, let me look up Revelations, whatever, blah, 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 read that, and I'm cool. It's a different type of feel when you're actually going through the Bible, going through the pages, looking for the page number, knowing, reading the Bible physically, the physical Bible, it helps you actually know where the chapters and the books of the Bible are because you're scrolling through it, you're knowing where it is. It's just a different type of feel. Now, again, as long as you're reading the Bible, that's the most important thing. But because of technology and because how much we use it, I feel like it's taken away something from us. Again, physically reading the Bible, it's just a different type of feel. It's not the same as reading on your phone, right? Reading on the Bible becomes more intimate. Reading the physical Bible becomes more intimate. You might tear a couple pages. A couple pages might get folded. It's just different. Like that happens over time, but that's how you know you're reading your Bible. So I just think those are a few examples of how dependent we've become on technology, and then also applying it to our Christian lives, how we can do better in those areas. Uh, and like I said, I'm victim. I'm guilty of those things as well. So I'm just bringing this up to the forefront and seeing what you guys think. But yeah, I think those are a few ways that we can do better in those, especially as Christians. Just trying to make sure that we're being proactive and not, uh, making technology use us, I guess, in a sense. Um, Now I want to go into social media a little bit, or a lot of bit. Uh, Social media and like we've heard about all of these articles and these case studies and all of this, but as far as social media, I think a big part of it is mental health. So I'm not the biggest I'm not the biggest advocate of just like always talking about mental health and all of this. I think mental health is important and we should always make sure that our mental is straight. But I don't think we should blame everything on mental health. But I do think social media is a huge part and a huge attribute of mental health. I think the way we use it, a lot of times the way we use it, it's just not good for us. Uh, I think that the people we follow and the way social media is used, specifically like an Instagram or a Snapchat. I think that we see so much on Instagram and Snapchat and whatever social media platform we use, uh, and we forget the blessings that God has given us and God has provided for us, right? And I think in a sense, I don't want to say that we're being ungrateful because it's a lot of times it's not. We're not even thinking of it. Again, it's just subconscious. Um, it's happening subconsciously, so it's not. We're not actively thinking of it. It's just happening because of the circumstances. But I feel it leads to a certain type of mental health where it's degrading your mental health, where you're feeling less of yourself, right? Uh, I've heard this for years, probably almost a decade now. But social media leads is one of the top leaders for depression, anxiety, and things of that nature. Again, all things we've heard, but I feel like it's just becoming more prevalent, and it's really becoming a thing day by day. And I think we need to be more proactive about it and make sure that we're limiting how our dependence upon it because we all use it for the most part. And when we become addicted to it and when we're fiending for it and yearning for it, I think that's when it becomes dangerous for us. And that's for mental health. I think that again, you're looking at other people, you're looking at their blessings, and you're looking at what they have, and you're comparing it to yours. And we all know comparison is the thief of joy. So I think we just need to make sure that we're being that we're protecting ourselves from that mindset, and also just those thoughts, because there's nothing wrong with social media. Social media is a good thing, but I just think the way it's used, and if we're not cognizant of what it could do to our spirit and our mind and our thought process, I think it could become a bad thing very easily. And that's what we're seeing. I've seen it with my friends. I've seen it with significant others. I've seen it with everything. I've seen it with family. Just, you have to use it the right way. Uh, Staying on social media, I think it also creates unreal expectations, right? So as far as social media, we see only highlights. So we are seeing everything that good that's happening. We're seeing people getting new cars, new houses. We're seeing people uh, getting all this money with different women, with different men, whatever, right? People are showing their highlights for the most part. People aren't just going on there showing that they're going through things. They're not documenting every bad thing that's happening. Now there's certain people that do that, but for the most part, social media is overly saturated with just highlights. That's in sports, everyday life, whatever it is, right? So we see all the good. So it's hard to picture life beyond that, right? Beyond the ups and falls, beyond the trials and tribulations. And I feel like the way we look at social media and the way we see it and what we see on social media and who we follow, we tie success, right, to women, fame, money, cars, clothes, etc. Right? We tie success to all of that, and I feel like that couldn't be further from the truth, right? Because our success, I really do. This is how I feel. What success is. So I mean, I think it depends if you're single or married or in a relationship, whatever you want to call it. But let's say if you're married, I feel like being successful means that you're able to provide for your family, right? If that's very comfortably, if that's just a little bit comfortable, or if it's check to check, it doesn't matter, right? It could be on any side of the spectrum, but you're providing for your family, making sure they're fed, making sure they're safe, and make sure they have a roof over their head, and making sure they know that you love them and you're showing them love each and every day. I don't feel like any money has to play in that. You could be making $40,000 a year. You can be making $400,000 a year. I don't think it matters. You could be more successful as a lower class man than a upper class person. I truly believe that, and I know some people are gonna have drawback on that, but that's just what it is. You can be successful in your realm of life, right? You don't have to be making the most money on earth. So I just think it depends on your situation, what you define as success. But I don't think money should uh, have a. I guess I don't think money should be the determining factor, or fame, or women, or cars, or clothes, whatever that is. Now, don't get me wrong. Do we want to have money? Of course. Do we want to have fame? I don't really want to have fame, but I get why somebody would want to have fame, right? Do we want to have clothes? Of course. Cars, yeah, we want to have those things. Those are materialistic things, but of course we want to have those things. But if we don't, it's just not God's will for us, right? It's not. It wasn't in the cards. It wasn't in our cards, right? Those aren't the cards that we were dealt. Uh, so I think people just need to take what God's given them and use it for their success, right? I think everyone has different gifts. Everyone has a gift, right? But I think we need to utilize our gifts to our success, right? So we can have our success story, so we can provide for our families. And I think at the end of the day, that's a success. Utilizing the gifts that God has given you and be able to provide for your family for it. So I think that's success to me, but everyone has their own opinion. Uh, I think also social media, and I think everyone has done this if you've been on social media enough, but it breeds jealousy, it breeds envy, and most importantly, insecurities, right? Definitely insecurities. Everyone has insecurities, right? Insecurities. I remember. Shout out to Dr. Warner. He's my professor the school I'm at now, and I'm in so many different theology classes with him. But one thing he was telling us is that as humans, everything, most of our sin, it stems from fear, right? So, and we were talking about insecurities in one class specifically, but those insecurities stem from fear, our fear of this, our fear of that, our fear of being, you know. So I think we're so fearful of things, and naturally we're going to fear, but God doesn't want us to fear certain things, right? But I think just our natural inclination of certain things or proclivity, whatever it's called, uh, I think our fear breeds all of these different emotions that we have and all of these different outcomes that come our way. And insecurities is definitely tied to our fear. Everyone has insecurities. If they say they don't, they're lying to you, right? We all are insecure about something. It could be one thing, it could be several things. But I think being on social media, it breeds those insecurities. Those insecurities are shown, right? They come to the forefront because you're seeing other people that you might think they're more attractive than you. They might have more money than you. You might think they're smarter than you. You might think they're better than you in whatever your field is, your career is, right? All of those things breed insecurities if you're not confident in what God has given you and what your gifts are, right? Uh, I think that is one of the more dangerous things, right? As far as social media, like I said, we talked on mental health and unreal expectations, but I think the insecurities, when you're insecure, then that turns into jealousy, that turns into envy, that turns into sometimes hate. And I don't use that word. I never say I hate something because my mom just taught me that way. I think that hate is a strong word. I would have to say I strongly dislike something or somebody, right? Uh, but yeah, I think sometimes it turns into hate. And I think that is a huge thing that we don't want, right? We don't want things to turn into hate. And definitely not jealousy or envy or insecurities. We're all gonna have insecurities, but we don't want that to come to the forefront just because we're on Instagram or Snapchat. But a lot of times that happens, and that's the dangerous thing. Um, because we see other people's blessings and we start wishing we had their blessings. Or in some cases we feel like we deserve what God has given them more than them. Like we deserve their blessings more than them. Like that doesn't make any sense. Again, I've seen it firsthand. We've all been there where we'll see something on Instagram. It's like, man, you know, but you don't want that. Man, I wish I had that. And you don't want to say it's fine with wanting something, but you don't want what other people have, right? That's where the envy comes into play. When it's because being jealous is one thing, but then being envious, that means you're wanting what that person has, right? And you're mad that they have it. And instead of just, man, okay, I wish I had that, but it's cool. If it comes, it comes. If not, okay, that's fine, right? But you're condemning or um growing dislike from uh towards that person because of something they have, something that God has given them, right? I think that's crazy. uh but that's something that happens when we're on social media, and again, these are all things I've seen firsthand. um and it's difficult to see, it's difficult to watch because social media is breeding these things. Now, social media was not created for that, as far as we know, right? But these are the sub products of social media. And it's going to continue to happen because we're human and we have emotions, right? And these emotions shape us. And that could be a positive or negative thing. But only you know if it's positive or negative, right? But yeah, I think we need to be extremely uh again just aware of how what we're looking at and what we're watching, what emotions they cultivate. Um, but yeah, it speaking on the jealousy and envy and the blessings, it makes me think of a quote, right? Now, I've been a huge fan of Deion Sanders forever, right? But I've grown more of a fanatic of him over the past few years after I've seen him when he was at Jackson State and then when he went to Colorado. I was watching him at Jackson State when I could because he wasn't on TV all the time. Then when we went to Colorado, I didn't miss a game, right? Because I'm a true fan. I think he's uh I think he's a strong pillar in our community, especially for black men. I think that everything he presents, and obviously he's not perfect, but I think what he presents is great for everyone in general, but especially a black man, how you can carry yourself and how you could be confident, right, without being arrogant. And now back in the day, he used to be arrogant, right, back in the day. But now he's just a confident black man. He knows what he does. He knows what he is. And he knows what God has given him. Anyway, I love Deion Sanders, but I just want to give that little spiel real quick. But I brought him up because he was this was when I think this was a conference game and they were preparing to play against, I want to say it was Colorado State, right? And the coach, something Norvell, Mike Norvell or whatever his name is, uh he was like throwing shade at Deion Sanders. And Deion Sanders in the presser, he said verbatim, he was like, my success ain't got nothing to do with his. So why wouldn't I want him to succeed? I don't know how people get down like that. My blessings ain't got nothing to do with his blessings. And he said that verbatim, and I'm like, man, I have the video on my phone to this day. And this was like maybe 2, 3 years ago. I think this was his first year at Colorado. But what he like, I think that's big. He's saying my blessings don't have anything to do with his blessings, right? Why wouldn't I want him to succeed? Right? You succeeding isn't taken away from my success, right? I think, especially in sports, right? You see it all the time. You might have somebody that's a sixth, seventh, eighth man on the roster, and you have a starter, right? Again, I've seen it firsthand. I've had teammates, right, do it. This past year, I had teammates do it where they're on the bench praying for somebody's downfall. I'll just never understand that, right? I'll never understand that. It's insane to me. Uh, and like I said, I've been playing sports my whole life, so I've been able to see it in sports throughout my whole life. It's something insane and crazy to me, and it's something I will never respect. And when I see that from someone, I don't think we could ever be friends ever, right? Because I think that is just the ultimate disrespect, and I feel like that's hatred. I feel like that breeds hatred. So when I see that, I have a huge problem with that, and I have to call it out, right? I just have to, because I can't. I have to let you know that I don't respect that, and we won't ever have a relationship because of that. Because I think it doesn't have to be towards me. If I see it towards somebody else, it's still insane to me. Um, but yeah, I think that's big with social media. Someone's blessings, their blessing, it doesn't take away from my blessings, or because they have something that doesn't take away what I have, right? Uh, their offers doesn't have anything to do with me. Like it was hard for me growing up because uh I didn't have any type of offers, right? And the people that I was growing up playing against, playing and whooping up on them, right? Every tournament, every game, whatever, they were getting offers and I wasn't. And it wasn't even the fact that I was better than them, right? That's it's not up for me to decide, right? But I just felt like not that I even deserved to offer more than them, but I was capable of those offers as well, right? That I deserved those offers as well. Be like beyond them, right? That I could get those offers too, but they weren't coming. So it was hard for me in that aspect of, man, like I know I can get these offers. I know I have the skill. I know I have the capability. I'm just not. I don't have the people around me. I don't have the team. I don't have the publicity. Any of that, right? But I think when in those type of situations, and that's just my sports. That could be in another career as well. So you're trying to say you're trying to be an actor in certain things. It's the same thing, right? It's the same thing in any field. When you feel like you're not getting your just due or you're not getting what you deserve, it can turn into that when somebody else that you feel not even feel like they're less deserving of, but that you can have that too. It breeds that envy, it breeds that jealousy, it breeds that, oh man, I should have those blessings. They don't deserve that. That's what it can breed, right? But we need to be extremely careful about those thoughts and make sure we direct them the right way. Now I had to write. My mom made sure because I was talking to my mom. I mean, I talked to my mom about everything, but specifically with that, with the basketball and everything, I was talking to her through everything, telling her all the emotions, and she was directing those emotions because she understood where I was coming from, because she's has seen the whole process, right, and the whole maturation. So in that moment, she was telling me how to direct those emotions, right? Not saying that my emotions weren't valid, but making sure that they don't breed or turn into something else, right? So I think that's the most important thing, especially with social media, where it is now. You see all these different kids, all these different people doing all these different things, and it can turn into something else. Instead of just applying them, it could turn into like I said, I don't like using the word, but hatred, right? So we need to be careful about how we react to things and what it turns into. Um, Another thing too, I think we believe everything we see on social media. We see it for the first time, and right now it's becoming a lot more. I keep using the word prevalent, but it's just true. It's becoming you're just seeing it way more, right? Uh, as far as AI and Photoshop, and you're seeing a lot of fake news, even something as small and like NBA news. You have NBA Centel. If y'all NBA fans, y'all know what I'm talking about. But you have those Twitter or X accounts, whatever you call them, and they'll post fake breaking news. And you go, oh, and I have my homeboy send it to me. I'm like, bro, it's a fake account, right? But I think that's something small. But I think that applies to everything, though, right? I think that we see on social media, we see certain things and we just think it's true, and we just believe everything we see. Um, I think that in a sense, people are focused more on what we see on the shade room than what is going on in our own lives, right? And I think we should all be caught up on current events. I think we should all know what's going on in our world. But I think everything doesn't need to be, uh, I guess, acknowledged, if that makes sense. I think there's a lot of things going on in this world that people do it just for attention, and sometimes they get that attention, right? Like I saw, this is kind of off topic, but it kind of it irritates me how black women are treated, right? But specifically Angel Reese, I love Angel Reese, right? I love Angel Reese, uh, but I saw something. This happened recently with somebody had posted a picture of her on the cover of 2K, because she's gonna be on the cover of 2K 2K26, and I love 2K. That's my favorite game, so I've been playing it forever, and I think that's really cool. I think she deserves it, right? But people have drawback about it, hating on her, whatever, so forth and so on. And then somebody posted a picture, like a Photoshop picture of her. It was like a racist picture. I'm not gonna go any more on it, but I think stuff like that is just crazy, right? Um, and I just think social media is being used for certain things, and I just think we need to do a better job of deciphering and being able to figure out what we're gonna bring light to and acknowledge, in a sense. I think things like that we don't need to acknowledge. Now I said that to say, because if y'all know who RG3 is, y'all know who he is. But he used to play in the NFL. He's had his past of talking down on black women, but that's whatever, right? Uh, but he reposted the picture on, I don't know if it was Instagram or Twitter. I haven't seen the picture, right? Because I don't want to see it. But he reposted it. And I think that's another thing, going back when I'm talking about why we're acknowledging that. It's one thing if you really just wanted to shine light on that, you could say, hey, this person posted this. This is not cool, blase, blase, whatever, right? But he posted the picture. Mind you, he has hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of followers on whatever platform he posted it on. Now everyone sees it. So I think we just have to be more intentional about how we use it and what we bring into our airways and our mind frame with social media. And then again, going back to my point though, we can't believe everything we see, right? We'll see certain things. We'll see, oh, the world's ending, or we're about to start a war and all this. And people facetiously like post things about it, post things about real things that are happening. They try to make fun of it. And it's like, I know some people's defense mechanism is just joking, but I think I just don't think it's cool for certain things, right? And we can't believe everything we see. I think we need to fact check everything. We can't just go on uh what we think is true, or I think we need to take it upon ourselves. And then going a step further, I think even with the Bible, instead of just seeing something online and seeing a verse that we see and having somebody else interpret it for us, which is cool. We have certain people that are credible, and we can take what they say for face value. Some people, but I still think even those people that are credible, like even my mom will tell me certain things, and I just take it for face value. But as I'm getting older, and she's told me this herself, because I don't think I ever did tattoos, right? I don't have any tattoos, and but my mom was brought up as, you're not supposed to get tattoos, right? And obviously she raised me the same way, but she told me, she was like, William, you're at the age where look at yourself, look into it yourself, look in the Bible, right? Read it, do your own research, and see what you say. I mean, let's figure out what you see, what you believe, what God is telling you about it, right? So I mean, as of right now, I'm not getting tattoos. I don't even have a desire to get any tattoos. I think tattoos are cool, but I don't want to inflict pain on myself. That's just me though, right? But yeah, it's like even in that, we need to take it upon ourselves to fact check and make sure what we see or believe is why, and be able to back up why we believe it, right? And be able to just add context to it. But wrapping it up, I feel like another thing with social media, I think we follow trends too much. I think we're following the crowd. I think we're just trying to do what other people are doing. I'm extremely intentional on the people I follow and the things I do and the things I say in relation to other people, because ever since a little kid, I don't like people telling me what to do, right? And sometimes that's been to my detriment. But I don't like other people thinking they have control over me, or that they not even the upper hand, but they're just delegating. I don't like delegators. I don't like delegation, especially if you're my peer. um, I just don't. I like having my own mind. I've always had my own mind, and that's something that it was a gift I've had. I've had the gift of God's given me the gift of confidence, and I'm confident in what I believe in, and the way I think, right? So I don't feel sometimes, and again, this has been to my detriment, but sometimes I don't feel like I need to hear what this other person is saying, because I fully believe and I've done my research on this. But that doesn't mean what they're saying is invaluable either, right? I say all that to say, I think we're too focused on following trends and following the crowd and following other people, and we're just doing whatever we see. We're trying to do these TikTok dances, these TikTok trends, which is there's nothing wrong with that in a sense, but I don't know. You guys can call me a little bit over dramatic with it. I just don't like all that stuff, right? I don't really like it, right? Just everybody just doing things because somebody else is doing. Somebody post something on Instagram. Oh, post this picture. All right, I'm gonna post it now. I just don't like all that. I don't indulge in that. Again, I might be a little bit over dramatic, but I just don't like following the crowd. I remember my mom used to say, if everyone's doing it, then it's probably not the right thing to do, right? Uh, and I still stand on that, and that's just how I operate. But yeah, my mom always used to say, she used to tell me, she used to tell me, you shouldn't look like everybody else. They should want to look like you. They should want to do what you're doing. As far as if you have the whole crowd doing this, smoking, drinking, or whatever they're doing, right, girl. And this was growing up, but this still applies to today. Whatever they're doing, you're doing something differently. Obviously, you're gonna look like the outlier. You're gonna look different for them. They should be like, look at themselves like, oh, maybe I need to do what he's doing, and they don't have to, because at this point, especially now, we're older. So whatever you're doing right now, I'm not saying you're gonna be stuck in that, but you've come to the decision that's what you want to do. But basically, my mom was just saying that I need to be a leader, not a follower, and that's something that I take pride in. So I just think we all need to take pride in, and be more intentional about trying to be a leader and not a follower, and making sure that we're being intentional about the things we're bringing into our airspace. But yeah, that's really what I wanted to talk about with technology and social media. It's just something I feel about. I could talk about this for hours, but I just wanted to bring this topic up and let you guys know my opinion on it. I want to know your guys' opinion. Please comment. Let me know what you guys think. Please let me know what you agree with, disagree with, what your take is on it, right? I would love to hear it. But yeah, I appreciate y'all for joining. I appreciate y'all for listening in. Like, share, and follow. Also, soon I should be posting my YouTube page, and I have a couple videos I need to put out. So when I post that, I'll post that. Make sure y'all subscribe on that, like, share, and subscribe on that. But yeah, like, share, and follow on this comment. Let me know what you guys like. Let me know what you guys don't like. I appreciate y'all for listening, man. Stay blessed, stay prayed up, keep God first, man. Love, attitude, gratitude. I'm out. Peace.